For centuries, humans have looked up at the night sky and wondered a simple but powerful question. Are we alone in the universe? The vastness of space, filled with billions of stars and galaxies, has always suggested that life might exist somewhere beyond our planet. Scientists have spent decades searching for signals, studying distant planets, and exploring the mysteries of the cosmos. But no one truly expected the answer to arrive so suddenly. It all began on a quiet night at an advanced space observation facility located in a desert. A group of astronomers were monitoring deep space signals when one of their radar systems detected something unusual. At first, it appeared to be nothing more than a distant object moving through space. But within minutes, the scientists realized that this object was moving far too fast to be a meteor or satellite. It was heading directly toward Earth. The discovery triggered immediate alerts across multiple international space agencies. Observatories around the world quickly turned their instruments toward the object. Radar stations from several countries confirmed the same thing. A massive, unidentified spacecraft was approaching Earth at incredible speed. Governments were informed immediately. At first, the information was kept secret while experts tried to understand the situation. Scientists analyzed the object's structure, speed, and trajectory. But the more data they gathered, the clearer it became that this was not a natural object. It was a ship, and it was controlled by something intelligent. Within hours, the news leaked to the media. Reports began appearing online about a mysterious object approaching Earth. Television networks interrupted their programs with breaking news alerts. The world was suddenly filled with speculation. Some people believed it could be a peaceful alien civilization finally making contact with humanity. Others feared it was the beginning of an invasion. Meanwhile, the spacecraft continued its journey toward Earth. As it got closer, powerful telescopes captured clearer images. The structure of the craft was unlike anything humans had ever built. It was enormous, nearly the size of a small city, surrounded by a glowing blue energy field that pulsed slowly in the darkness of space. Military forces around the world began preparing for the worst. Fighter jets were placed on standby, missile defense systems were activated, warships were deployed into strategic positions. No one knew the intentions of the approaching visitors. Hours later, the spacecraft reached Earth's orbit. Instead of attacking immediately, the ship stopped above the Pacific Ocean, hovering silently above the planet. Millions of people across the world watched live broadcasts of the strange object floating in space. Then something unexpected happened. Small openings appeared along the sides of the giant spacecraft. From these openings, dozens of smaller flying crafts began emerging. They moved with incredible speed, descending toward Earth's atmosphere. At that moment, the tension across the world reached its highest point. Military command centers issued immediate orders. Fighter jets were launched to intercept the unknown crafts before they could reach the surface. This would become the first direct encounter between humans and alien technology. As the jets approached the mysterious crafts, the pilots reported something extraordinary. The alien vehicles were moving in ways that defied known laws of aerodynamics. They could change direction instantly, accelerate faster than any human aircraft, and remain perfectly stable in the air. One pilot spoke over the radio with clear disbelief. "These things are way beyond our technology." Before the pilots could react further, a sudden flash of blue light erupted from one of the alien crafts. Within seconds, the electronic systems inside several fighter jets began malfunctioning. Navigation systems shut down, weapons stopped responding, engines failed. Several aircraft lost control and started falling toward the ocean. It was the first clear demonstration of alien power. Human forces quickly attempted a counterattack. Missile systems were launched toward the alien ships, but something incredible happened. Just before the missiles reached their targets, they suddenly exploded mid-air, as if they had hit an invisible barrier. The alien ships were protected by an unknown energy shield. Panic began spreading across global military command centers. It was becoming clear that humanity was facing a technology far more advanced than anything on Earth. Meanwhile, some of the alien ships continued descending toward the planet. One of them landed in a vast desert region far from major cities. Satellites quickly focused their cameras on the landing site. The entire world watched in silence. Slowly, the surface of the alien craft opened. A ramp extended toward the ground. Moments later, the first alien beings stepped onto Earth. They were tall and slender, with pale gray skin and large dark eyes. Their movements were calm and controlled. In their hands, they carried strange devices that emitted faint blue light. For the first time in human history, humanity was face to face with beings from another world. Military forces quickly surrounded the area with tanks, armored vehicles, and hundreds of soldiers. Everyone waited. No one knew what would happen next. But deep down, many feared the same thing. This meeting was not going to be peaceful, and the first battle between humans and aliens was about to begin. The desert battlefield had become completely silent. Rows of human soldiers stood behind armored vehicles while tanks aimed their weapons toward the alien craft. Fighter jets circled above the area, waiting for orders. The alien beings stood calmly beside their ship, observing the human forces surrounding them. For a few moments, nothing happened. Then one of the aliens slowly raised its hand. The device it was holding began to glow with a powerful blue energy. Suddenly, a beam of light shot toward the ground. Within seconds, a large section of sand transformed into a solid, glass-like surface. It was a clear demonstration of their power. Human commanders quickly realized that these visitors were not defenseless explorers. They possessed technology capable of unimaginable destruction. A difficult decision had to be made. Finally, the order was given. Open fire. The silence of the desert was shattered by the thunder of gunfire. Tanks launched explosive shells toward the alien group, while soldiers fired their weapons. But just before the attacks reached their targets, a transparent energy shield appeared around the aliens. Every bullet and shell collided with the invisible barrier and fell harmlessly to the ground. Then the aliens responded. Their weapons released narrow beams of intense energy that moved faster than any projectile. One armored vehicle exploded instantly. Another tank was cut in half by a single blast. Within moments, the battlefield had turned into chaos. Despite the heavy losses, human forces refused to retreat. More military units were being deployed to the area from across the world. Warplanes filled the sky. Missiles streaked through the air. The first interplanetary war had begun. During the battle, one fighter pilot noticed something unusual about the alien ship. While maneuvering around the battlefield, he saw a small section underneath the craft where the glowing shield appeared weaker. The pilot immediately reported the observation to command. This discovery could be humanity's only chance. Military strategists quickly formed a plan. Multiple aircraft were ordered to focus their attacks on the exact location identified by the pilot. Within seconds, a coordinated missile strike was launched. Several missiles struck the weaker section of the ship's shield. A powerful explosion erupted. For the first time since the battle began, the alien craft showed signs of damage. Smoke began pouring from one side of the ship. Human forces realized that the aliens were not invincible. The attack intensified. Missiles, rockets, and artillery continued targeting the damaged area. The aliens fought back with increasing aggression. Energy beams lit up the sky. Explosions shook the desert floor. It was one of the most intense battles ever witnessed in human history. But suddenly, something unexpected happened. The massive alien mothership hovering in space began to move. A massive energy surge formed beneath it. Scientists monitoring the battle quickly realized the danger.
The ship was preparing to release an enormous energy wave toward Earth. If unleashed, the wave could destroy everything within hundreds of miles. There was no time to waste. A desperate plan was proposed. A volunteer pilot stepped forward. His mission was simple but nearly impossible. He would fly his aircraft directly into the core of the alien energy system. It was a suicide mission, but it might be the only way to stop the attack. Without hesitation, the pilot accelerated toward the sky. His jet climbed higher and higher until it approached the massive alien ship. Every radar system on Earth followed his movement. Within seconds, he reached the glowing center of the alien energy core. And then, a blinding explosion filled the sky. For several moments, no one could see anything through the massive cloud of light and smoke. Finally, the smoke began to clear. What appeared next shocked everyone. The enormous alien mothership was losing control. Slowly, the massive craft began falling toward the ocean below. Moments later, it crashed into the sea with a thunderous impact. The remaining alien craft immediately retreated back into space. The battle was over. Humanity had survived its first war with an alien civilization, but victory came with a heavy price. Cities had been damaged, hundreds of soldiers had lost their lives, and the world now understood something that could never be forgotten. Humans were not alone in the universe. Somewhere out there, in the vast darkness of space, other civilizations existed. And after this battle, they now knew exactly where Earth was.